Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, breadwinners, thread spinners, all those in between, we're getting crazy watching the TNF podcast here with your favorite bipolar rock and roller, Mr. J. Curtis Strickland. Do me a favor, click on that like button, click on the subscribe button, click on the little bell for notifications. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. That'd be fucking fantastic. We got some upcoming shows in the pipeline. This Sunday, what is this Sunday's date? Look at how professional I am right now. The 30th, excuse me. The 30th of Sunday, we're going to have Chris Rufino and Anthony Salerno from the band Overthrow. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard this Sunday, 6:30. As you can see on the banner there, I've got an official merchandise company. You can pick up the podcast T-shirts, or you can pick up hardcore and movie-themed T-shirts. We got a whole bunch in there. Let me throw a few of those up. I like to do that at the top of the hour. That's our Steve McQueen Bullet. That's our Black Flag mock. We got the Psycho 2. We got the Scream Tatum Glow in the Dark. And we've got the Randy Scream Glow in the Dark. So check those out. They're on sale. 20% off your entire order. Just click 20 as your code. That'll be great. They're really nice, and they're a great price. That rhymes. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, today on the podcast we have this guy's a Cleveland legend. He and I became friends through mutual friends, and he's a hardcore legend. He's been doing it up since the '90s, maybe sooner. I could be wrong, but yeah, he's the vocalist of the legendary hardcore band Fortitude from Cleveland, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Edge, what's going on, dude?
Hello, sir. Let me clear it up.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. I have to clear my throat all the time because I've lived in Florida almost 30 years now, and here's why: the weather down here, it just sucks. I hate this weather so much, so I'm always clearing my throat. Like I'm always sucking down water. I'm like it's constant.
You're in Florida now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. We're in Florida.
Just north of Daytona Beach and just south of St. Augustine. So,
okay,
little town called Palm Coast.
And what brought you down to Florida?
My mommy. Well, my mom moved down here. She got married and she moved down here, and I left Cleveland. Because I was 21. Well, I was 21 at the time. I was, mom, she's like, just come down here and we'll go to school and do this and that, whatever. I said, okay. And just moved down here. And then I found a band, and then I found another band. And then I said, screw it. Then I ended up having kids and just doing that stuff. And then I got older and more gray. And
Florida's pretty appropriate for the gray,
Oof. Yeah. And so is the weather. It's so nice when it's hot outside and you have like 18 pounds of fur in your face. It's great.
I was born in Florida, man. That place is like the fucking depths of the jungle in some places,
Dude, listen, man. Fuck no. Let me tell you, it's not the worst place in the world, And I talk shit on Florida sometimes because I hate the heat. I can't stand the heat. I miss Cleveland so much. I really miss Cleveland. And quick history, I grew up in Southern California.
I
was born in Cleveland. We were there not even a year. My father was stationed in San Diego, and we were in San Diego within a
Marines? Navy?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Cool.
Navy man, Navy brat.
Oh, Navy. Oh, whatever they say. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. I never had the honor of serving, so whatever they say. And we moved back to Cleveland when I was 13 years old, and that's where my exposure to Cleveland hardcore got greater. I was exposed to the punk life like really early. Every now and then in San Diego, if you turn, okay, quick history lesson, kids. If you're younger than like 30, you had a radio dial. You had to turn the radio dial, and you move the antenna around. And if you're lucky, you got a really good station. So every now and then, you got K-Rock, and you go, this is K-Rock, and you get a good station, and you sometimes you get Rodney and the Rock, and I got exposed like, what is this? What is this music? And I hear the Ramones, and then I would hear like Circle Jerks and Black Flag and all this great fucking music. I'm like, this is nuts. This is the greatest shit in the world. And now I'm hooked. My favorite song when I was like fucking 6, 7 years old was "Roll Up My Ass." How do you not fall for a song like "Roll Up My Ass"?
Fuck, that's how I feel right now. Fucking world's bearing down on me, man.
What do you mean bearing up? You bear it up and you like that.
Bear it up.
So so I got I got hooked on it, and I had a lot of cousins. When my mom moved out there, and my father and all those, her sister, my mom was the oldest of like a million kids, and so some of her sisters moved out there. So I had a lot of cousins to grow up with, and they were really cool. They like metal, they like punk, so we grew up together, and I got exposed like.
This is gonna happen, folks. Drops out for a minute. Go ahead. Sorry, continue.
I got exposed like Rat. Rat was one of my favorite bands when I was a little kid. Like this is good shit. So I was all into it. And as I got older, and we moved to Cleveland, I was 13 years old, and I got exposed at Cleveland proper. And man, I now see. Shows in Southern California were no fucking joke. Were no joke. My first show, I think it was in '82, was
no,
and it was. So there's a legend of it's the HBs. They would follow Circle Jerks and Black Flag and everybody around like bands like that around California. So for me, I got lucky enough to be blessed with the HBs that night because I got to see these guys fucking firsthand. And they wore like motorcycle boots and chains in the boots and shit, and just they're a bunch of ruffians. They're all hot up at speed. And watch this guy just fucking belt this dude in the fucking face. Can I say fuck a lot? I say fuck a lot. Is that okay?
Oh, by all means, free country.
Sweet. And cracks this guy in the face. I'm like, what? What? He's like, you're cool, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just want to see. I wanted to hear "Roll Up My Ass." Like, that's all I wanted to do. And this guy's like, all hot about fucking speed. I'm like, this is crazy, and this is rad, but it's crazy as fuck. So cool. And this is Southern California life because they're all fucking on dope, and they're all like strung out and shit. And Cleveland is, we don't give a fuck, and now I'm like in my teens, and we don't give a fuck. I grew up in a my dad was a tough guy. My dad was a hard hitting son of a bitch, and I mean that literally and figuratively. He'll hit you, and he don't give a fuck, and that's how it was. Oh, is that an F? Is that an F in your report card? Dunk. Oh, did you talk back to me? Dunk. And that's how it was. And that. So, as my mom and I were living in Cleveland, that's okay. That's, you got your lickings, and here I am at these shows, and these dudes they're belting other lickings, and you see these fucking skinhead guys, and elbow here, like a sock in the face there, and these are, you hear about skinheads on the news. These guys racist, and there's these big fucking patches that say anti-racist skinheads. What is this? This is cool. I like that. I like this racist shit because I grew up with Mexicans, and I grew up with fucking like Jewish punk rockers. Like what is this racist shit? These guys aren't racist. I like this. This is better. I like this idea.
Mhm.
And here's these fucking dudes with these Confederate flags. These guys are getting fucking punched out. Awesome. So I'm watching this from the on the sidelines, going, these bald guys are fighting these bald guys, and the fuck, like, what's happening here? And I'm starting to understand, like, there's a dynamic between these fucking two groups of dudes. Hey, you're at our shows. You're not welcome here. You're not going to stay here. So now I'm understanding what's going on in Cleveland. And we had a crew there called the United Front. I remember those guys. We had some sharp dudes there. All really good people. Who's the one guy? Where'd this guy go? This guy Chico, real big fucking Latino guy. Nicest fucking dude in the world. He ran with the One Life Crew guys a bunch. And I'm gonna.
Pat, we may have to have you relocate to another room because you're dropping out. I don't know what's going on with the signal, but a bunch of people left after it happened the first time, so I don't want to have that happen again. But if you want to relocate to a different room, that would be fantastic.
Let's go to the
Yeah, let's
shitter.
go on a tour with Pat.
Let's go to the shitter. Hey, don't mind the construction because we're my son-in-law is retiling the house. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
we have this is my collections wall. There you go.
I was about to ask you, what is that?
So this is my Shazam collection right here behind me directly.
Okay.
I love Shazam. And
I think you might be the only person.
shut up. Am I the only person
It's like
saying
Blue
shut up this
Beetle. Who
week?
likes Blue Beetle?
That was a great movie. Shut up. I loved it. I thought I did a
I have
good
one
job.
friend. I have one friend that likes what's that other one? Moon Knight too.
Yeah, don't stop it. Stop it.
So okay, while we're talking now, what is did you have music playing in your household? Did you have like friends, family that were growing up that were? I mean, you mentioned you were exposed to Rat, but like did you ever play any instruments growing up, or were you strictly
No,
a
sir.
front man?
No, sir. My I play drums. I would have drumsticks, and I remember playing on some pillows when I was a kid. I would play to the Go-Go's and Police. I always had music playing. Um, my father always had records going, and my dad was a big country guy, but he also loved like old rock, because he's an old guy, or was an old guy. My mom loved old, and so I would grow up to like old stuff. I love old 50s. I'm a reference Bando a lot too on this well here because I love Joe Bando to death. Um, that's a lifelong friendship that will never die.
Solid dude.
Absolutely. I love Tony Pines. I love Steve. Um, and I'm gonna touch on those guys in a second. Um, so Bando and I have this love for oldies. And there was one time we were listening to one of my favorite bands is a band called No Use for a Name. I will never stop loving that band. They have a song called Justified Black Eye, and we're listening to it one day. He's like, dude, that sounds like the fucking Hollies. What? Because listen to the measures. Dude, and it's Bus Stop from the Hollies. I'm like, no shit. It just like and it just comes out of me. So I was friends with those guys. And the singer Tony, rest his soul. I was like, Tony, listen to the bars of your song. It's the fucking Hollies, dude. He's like, oh shit. I'm like, there you go. So I fucking love old music. We proudly would boast the fact that Alan Freed was from Cleveland and that he's the guy who created the term rock and roll. So,
No shit.
so
I
yeah.
guess that's why they say Cleveland rocks, then, right?
Um,
And then the Rock
yeah.
and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah, but and not to be a dick, why is New York always trying to take it from us? So whatever. It's because it's New York. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna talk shit on New York at all. I love New York. But real quick, the Cleveland scene was great growing up. You know, I learned how to stand my ground on some shit. You know, with bands like Confront, Integrity. Hey, listen, man, I love Chubby Death. Chubby Death. I love Chubby Fresh to Death. Um, I agree. Um, Ringworm. Fuck. You'll never. I love Ringworm. Not the disease. Obviously the band. I love Ringworm to death.
Jingles, the clap. Love
You know,
them.
it's funny. I
Love
just
them.
talked to Chris Chris a little while ago, and it's cool to see the guy. Urba, listen, there is a scar up here from Urba, and it's funny. I saw Urba a few years ago in California at the New Age Fest, New Age 30, and he's like, "Hey, how's your head?" I'm like, "Why would you bring it up? Like, why would you fucking bring it up? Like, I haven't seen you in years. This happened in '92." But you want to bring up the fucking cut you call my fucking on my forehead because he threw a mic stand up and it fell on my fucking forehead and just knocked me the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm bleeding everywhere.
Holy shit.
It sucked, man. And like, I'm in the back, I'm bleeding profusely. DeWitt's back there. Tony, Urba comes in the back. He's like, look, you okay? I'm like, fucking bleeding everywhere. Whatever. Cleveland, man. Whatever the fuck. It comes with territory. It's pop rock, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've gotten many scars from being in Ohio, and I'm fucking proud of every one of them. So,
Dude, I mean, the more I hear about like the more I hear about the Cleveland scene of yore, it's just like the craziest shit happened, and like the most like I don't know. Everybody talks New York and whatnot, but man, I always hear about shit going down in Cleveland. Like what is in the water up there that just makes it so crazy?
rust. It's rust. I'm telling you.
Probably.
We, Apartment 213. Don't. Hey, we have a spot. A little town called Brooklyn. It's on the west side. It's a small little town because we can't think of our own fucking cities. A little YMCA, and they a fucking what was it a fucking power drill. I, for some reason, a power drill was brought out. I'm like, I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to see this at all. Apartment 213 was great. I remember it was One Life Crew's first show. It was in Peabody's Down Under. Apartment 213, 25 to Life, One Life Crew, Integrity. I think that was it. I have a stack of old flyers in my garage, and I got a couple of guys keep asking me like, hey, "Do you still have this flyer?" I'm like, "I had the flyer. I just don't know where the fuck it is." I have a bunch of Palm Sunday shows flyers. I can't fucking find them, but like that show's notorious as well. Ugh.
What show?
The Palm Sunday show that was a violent show. A bunch of dudes from Columbus came up there. That's a show where DeWitt gets mic cord cut. So if you ever listen to the
Oh,
show, yeah,
yeah, I heard about that.
fucking. Hey man, like DeWitt said, don't try and scare Cleveland with that kind of activity. A fucking geek. That's my favorite line.
Yeah.
Don't fucking geek.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt, man. And you know, I mean, with Cleveland being such a rich scene, I think that, there's been so much talent that's kind of sprung up out of there. So let's kind of talk about like how you got involved in Fortitude. Was Fortitude your first band, or did you play in anything before that? Did you have like proto projects or anything?
I had a band in Cleveland. We were called Foundation. Let's be honest here. So we were trying to think of a name. It was myself, this kid Matt Yauk, Tony Grabowski, and a friend of ours named Gavin. It was just It was four guys that were definitely musically eclectic. Matt was very into like the '90s emo. Gavin's more pop punk. Tony's more into all kinds of stuff. I was the hardcore kid, and we tried everything all together at once. My mouth cause a lot of problems. My ego, my bullshit.
There, man.
Let's here's the thing. Here I am, almost 50 years old. It's time to own up some bullshit. My ego and mouth cause a lot of shit. It cause a lot of personal shit. And luckily, we're at a time now where Matt Yalk and I got to a point to where this is years ago. I called him on the phone and said, "Hey, man, I'm fucking sorry. I'm just such an asshole." He's like, "Dude, me too. It's cool, like." And I love those guys to death, And unfortunately, we suffered an incredible loss earlier this year. Some local kid in Cleveland that he passed away, and it sucked. And it realized that life's too fucking short, and you reach out to your friends and people you love and stuff, and hey, listen, I love you, dude. Don't be afraid to tell your friends you fucking love them. So
Yeah.
So we call ourselves Foundation because there's the Iceman Cometh 7-inch on Nemesis Records. It has Slapshot, No for an Answer, and a couple of the bands. The one band was called Foundation. I said, let's fucking use it. This band called Foundation. Shh, don't want to know. So we use that.
There's a foundation from Georgia, right?
There was, Atlanta? Yes, sir. There was also a band from Rochester. So I'm like, well, let's use as long as we could. And then a band from Atlanta a few years ago called Foundation, which they definitely earned that fucking name. They were a fucking great band.
They were fucking sick, man. I hate that they had to make an exit because I would have liked to have seen what they continued to do.
They played when they were on their last tour. They played a great show. There's a little venue in Daytona. They fucking played an amazing fucking. I watched them a couple of times. And they're fucking sick. They were an amazing band, and damn.
But somebody actually introduced me to them when I was living in the Hare Krishna temple.
Nice.
Foundation of all bands.
I'll tell you what, man. Being involved in the Krishnas for a little while. Grip was a fun band. That was a cool band.
Grip.
Yeah, they were on New Age. And
okay.
What's up to Mike Hartsfield? Because Mike Hartsfield is one of my best friends. I love you to death, dude. So yeah, the Range Records. Sorry.
Real quick, we're taking comments and questions here in the chat box here. So if anybody wants to extend any questions to Pat, that would be fantastic.
What's up, kids? So Grip was one of those bands that was on New Age, and they were a good band. But oh god, I miss Temple Food. I love pakoras, dude.
I'll tell you what, man. Those I could do rice and dal every day. Rice, dal, chapatis, man. That's all me, man. Like I never got tired of it. Never.
Dude, you don't earn to be a fat kid for nothing, okay? Just saying.
I've been fat, man. That's why I make fun of it.
Listen, I had to fix my life.
Look who it is. Look who joined us.
Who we got, Joe?
No. Old Chubbs.
Oh, here he is. Fucking guy.
There he is. I'm sorry. Continue, sir.
No worries. When I left Cleveland, when I got down here, I started a band called End Result, which was like it was a straight edge pop punk band, and we're talking like cheesy as all fuck. Like we had a song called "Cruising Through Kmart." For fuck's sake, the first song I wrote was
that's what straight edge kids do, though, don't they? To like kind of like subsist their boredom a little bit, they'll go and go to a Walmart and like wreck shit. That's what the ones in North Carolina used to do. They used to do that shit all the time.
We where I lived in when I moved down to Florida, we live in a little area called Lake County. Okay, it's a little south of Orlando, and that's all we did. We had this little spot in Lake County. We had a Walmart there that had like a dog cage out in the front there, and we would hold like cage matches in there. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Just dumb shit. So there's an example there. And Kmart was like, it was still open then, so we're just doing all the stupid shit at Kmart. And So that there's a song, just Dip Sherry, and then I'm gonna start to write more like love songs, like my girlfriend back in Cleveland. Let me write some sad songs about this and this. Like, okay, cool, boo hoo, But
I could
then
never connect with anything like that.
no, it's just, and like the vocal is so monotone. Like, come on, man, really, like it's horrible, horrible band, the worst. So there's that band going on for a while, but then the drummer and I decided to we want to start a hardcore band, and let's figure out what we want to do. I wanted something old style. My main influences in hardcore were mostly No for an Answer, Agnostic Front, Instead being one of my favorite bands in the world. I was like, this is what I want to do. So I put a flyer up in this local record store in Orlando we always frequented, and we got fucking immediately within a couple of days, this guy was fucking hitting us up. He's like, hey, let's start this band. Cool. And excuse me, like, sounds rad. So he linked up with us, had a couple practices with him at first. All the sloppy songs we had kind of wrote. He decided to take all those sloppy songs and turn it into one song, and we just went from there. And we were a straight edge band at first, and we put our first show on Halloween in '97. It was and a bunch of covers. So we had Judge cover. We did Free Last from Warzone. We did Wise Up from Bold, and a few other songs I forget. And it was fun. We had a couple shows. We played with Shia Lu the second time we played. A few other shows, and then in the new year of '98, we had our first show with our longtime guitar player Wes, and we stopped being a straight edge band because Wes is not straight edge, which I didn't know. I'm like, I see him, we're at a show, and I'm like, no weed. He's like, yeah, I just smoked some. I'm like, fuck. I guess we're not straight edge, are we? I guess not.
Wow.
So, ever since then, we've gone on. I left Fortitude in 2006 because my first son was born. I left the band for 13 years, and they kept it going. It was Wes, our guitar player. He was singing guitar and singing. His wife Attila was playing bass and playing bass, excuse me. And our longtime drummer Dave Keel was playing drums, and they kept it going for a long time. And 13 years later, we're like, let's do it again. You get back in the band. I said, okay. And it's been kind of slow running between pandemic and health scares. Our bass player, she's been fighting cancer a couple times. I'm going through some health stuff every now and then. They just play what we call Florida Rules. My best friend puts it on once a year. They just played an amazing set the other day. I'm on light duty, so I couldn't be at the show. My feet are wrapped up, so I can't really do shit. But I'm on the heel, I'm on the mend. So we have some shows booked up right now. We are playing with Sigrid in September in Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited because it's our first time playing with Sigrid, and we've played with some great bands. And we have been blessed to play with some amazing legends, and they're definitely on my top 5 of bands I've been wanting to play with for my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
7 Seconds is one of them. If we ever get to play with 7 Seconds, I'm like, cool, I'm done. I quit. Not literally, but still, you get the idea.
Sure.
And then we're playing the annual fest in October. I'm super excited. So
Fest in Gainesville. Yeah, I saw that you guys had played in 2019. What was that like for you?
It was crazy to me. I work fest every year.
Mm.
So my boss was like, "Hey, you guys want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah." You serious? He's like, "Yeah," because he likes to have hardcore bands on there too. He likes to have all kinds of bands on there. He loves ska. He loves traditional punk. He loves
Yeah,
fucking
less than Jake, I think, is like their big headliner because they're from Gainesville, and
sometimes yes sir.
yeah. And I
And
saw,
doesn't
who was it I saw in 2015 and 2016? It was um there were like a handful of hardcore bands there, but Boy Sets Fire
yep.
and Paint It Black were there. Great
Oh
bands.
yes.
But yeah,
Oh yeah.
they I'm glad that he does that because some of those other bands I was like, that's too punk for me.
And he has such a great like ear and openness when it comes to the bands he'll put on there. And I've said this to him. I didn't put it on social media before. It's the most diverse selection of bands ever, and all kinds of lifestyles. And I know some people are kind of weird about lifestyles or whatever. Listen, when it comes to like being trans, I'm not offended by it. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Sure.
Of course, being gay doesn't hurt my feelings. Being male or female doesn't hurt my feelings. Do you? Do you? Just don't hurt anybody. Just don't hurt anybody. You know,
Sure.
that's where it starts to hurt my feelings. If you are one type of lifestyle and you're hurting somebody, then it's a problem. You know,
Yes.
um,
But there's some that believe that, you know, just by existence, and this is across both sides of the aisle, just by some other entity, whether it be somebody with a differing political opinion or a different religion or a different, ideology or whatever, they're like pariahs. Like, and I don't understand where this comes from, especially from a Krishna conscious perspective. And I know you can relate because it's like, this is the biggest thing, and I think even a lot of devotees miss this: is we are not the body. You know, we
sure.
are not the body. We are a soul. We are a spirit that exists within us, and to be on the bodily platform, I mean, it's like, well, you're different. You're different. You're different. That's all it tells. That, why?
One of the things
You
that
know,
turned me off to the church. We were at the temple in Gainesville. Have you been to the temple in Gainesville?
lived in the temple in Gainesville for
Oh
2
my God,
years.
isn't that place
Yeah.
beautiful?
Oh
Holy
yeah, it's great.
crap!
Wait, in Gainesville or Alachua?
Alachua, yes.
Okay.
Not the
So
house temple in downtown. The one
okay,
on
so
the
you know about
farm.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 So we were there for John Mosby one year, and I was trying to follow. I had the calendar, like, oh, it's a Kansi, and I'm trying to be a great devotee. I'm like, oh, cool. And like, oh, I gotta starve myself all day. Because it's John Moss to me. I'm like, don't break it. And so I had to starve myself, the whole day. And I'm waiting until it's after midnight. So don't eat yet. So we're in this line, and it's a long line because we're all hungry as hell. And there's a few lines and people are waiting to eat and stuff, and they're scooping out food the best we can. And I learned a trick. If you avoid some parts of the line, they're not going to scoop the dairy on there because I'm vegan. So they're going to scoop the dairy on it. So if I skip this part of the line, because if they scoop on your plate, you have to eat it. I was like, shit. Because you can't refuse Krishna. So I'm like, okay, cool this. So the lady walks over and she's yelling at us because this line's for the Indian guests only. What? And she comes
That is
back
a
and
weird
yells,
thing.
right. And she comes back and yells this again. This night's for the Indian guests only. So finally, I had up and said, according to Krishna,
That's
are
why.
we all Indian? And she got mad. She walked off. They're like, good answer.
You
I'm
know
like,
why it is, right?
the money? You think so?
Oh, and I know so. I mean, and here's the thing too. They even have this level of uh I mean, I guess but see, in India, it's different. They segregate like the village people from like your temple regulars,
right.
because they do it for the reason that they will mob like the deities and they will mob Tulsi and they will mob and it just gets to be chaos. So they're like, okay, well, like let's everybody. It's kind of fucked up, It's like let's sit you all over here like children, I sat and I watched it, and I'm sitting there circumambulating the Tulsi tree. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like it was bizarre,
And that's what turned me off at that point. I was like, why am I being part of this now? And then a couple of years later, I'm like, I'm not. I can't be part of this anymore. And I still have respect for the Krishna movement or the Krishna consciousness and stuff. And it's just like,
Sure.
And some of the ideologies. And I still teeter sometimes. I just, right now, my life is pay my bills and, do what's right for my family and do what's right for, my life right now. And I can't go to temple because I'm busy at working, and I'm not trying to feel bad. I can't be at temple this week because I'm going to be at work, so.
Temple's in the heart, man.
Exactly. So that's whatever, But when
What
it
do you
comes
think
to like,
attracted you to Krishna consciousness?
I was a sucker. That's why. You know what did it? Because I was a fucking hardcore kid. Said, man, shelter's cool, and man, 108's cool. That's why. And all my friends like these guys. They're really cool. This is free. The temple, like, and man, I got this card from Ray Campo, and it said, man, don't eat Taco Bell. Go to a temple. Like, let's go.
Taco
That's
Bell's
why.
got those $1 bean burritos though, or $2, whatever they're
They
at
used
now, man.
to. I think I paid fucking
Yeah, now they're
$5
like
the other night.
$3. That shit saved my life so many times.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Now
What
it's
do you
like
think attracted you to the philosophy though, initially?
to Krishna.
Yeah.
That the story from before was that
Just the bands
just the blatant
and like
racism, the blatant racism. To stand there and
the
say this is for the Indian guests only was so blatant to me. Was so disgusting. Like, how could you say that? Like, I've been taught for 13 years that we're all Krishna and we're not this body, but you want to
right.
stand there and yell at us because we're Caucasian. And what is this? It's rude.
Well, yeah, I kind of felt the same way initially, and then just because culturally in India lines do not exist, they just don't. Like it's not a thing. Like people do not have any sort of code when it comes to patience there. I mean, I was doing my laundry there, and somebody stepped in front of me in line, and so when they explained it to me, I was like, it's like I understand, but I don't. Like
Right.
I get it and I don't simultaneously.
Right. And
What brought you there initially? I mean, like, had you been like a godly or a pious person before that, or?
I always thought like some sort of God influence. My mom's always been religious, and I always felt like, I guess, afraid of death, you know, and I always been attracted to like Krishna life. When I was a little kid in San Diego at the Balboa Park in San Diego, the Christians would come out and do the kirtans, and I go, and my mom was like, you would freak out, and you'd go out there and sit there and watch them dance around. Well, that's crazy, like that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I always had some sort of attraction to it. It just, again, the positive peer pressure, as I call it, is just watching, like just knowing that there's bands that are saying, hey, look at this movement. Like, don't eat meat. Okay, no problem. But do this. So, okay, let's check it out. And then getting older, it's like, I should use my own mind now. Like let me think ahead of myself, and then just not wanting to let people think for me anymore. Like,
Right.
at this point you're in your 30s and go, think about yourself. As you're walking the beach, just think about what you want to do with your life. Well, you're drug free. You don't want to do drugs. You know these things about your life you don't want to do. do you want to be submissive to a god? And just all these questions I have to myself. Here I am, almost 50, just trying to figure out how I'm going to fucking pay bills now. What am I going to do when pension comes? Like that's what my life is now. So I work a city job, and what's my next step? So that's where my life is now. So
Yeah, and it's one of those things that's kind of a hard reality to accept once you get older is things become more routine, things become kind of more humdrum, and a lot of the excitement will kind of dissipate from life,
right.
and so what do you do to kind of like, you're you seem to be a pretty like, well articulate, well educated guy. What do you do for like, what do you do to kind of like get away from the stress of it all?
I yell at my family. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What the fuck are you doing? I'm just kidding. I put my nose in my phone and play fucking dumbass video games. No, just again, I'm speaking in jest. Um, because we're not as active as we like to be, the band wise. When sorry, when I'm at home, going, as you and I were talking about earlier. I love movies. Fucking love movies. Julie and I, my wife and I are talking about the movie collection we have. It's fucking hellacious. She's like, "Can we just sell some of these movies?" I'm like, "No, sell them. You want to sell one of the kids too? You kidding me? Sell it." Shit, no. I love having a catalog of movies and records and shit like that. I love having that kind of catalog because it's just neat to me. Um, like my favorite movie is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Ask Joe Bando, dude. I wish he was on right now. God damn it.
No, but
Tell you.
look, we've got another comment from Tony Pines. Move back to
Yes.
Clevo, sing for heavyweight. Let's go. Strickland,
Hey,
play bass.
hey, Tony, if you
I
want to
was
pay
already
me,
offered to play bass. Julie Wickman says I know that guy.
I'm sorry. You should tell that guy to fucking wash his ass. My wife. Hey, Tony, if you want to pay me $25 a fucking hour, 40 plus hours a week with a pension, we'll talk about going home. Um, we so Bando and I used to live together. He lived in my house for a little while in my house, and I I'd fall asleep, which is not a problem. I had no problem falling asleep. He said, "But you'll recite that movie in your fucking sleep." Like what? He goes, you'll sleep and you'll go, "Hey bud, let's party." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like you'll do it. Like, you'll sleep and you'll fall asleep and you'll go like, and you'll recite fucking Spicoli's parts. I'm like, sweet. And it's been proven like in many parties, I'll pass out and fucking recite pastimes original. So there's that, and there's like, I was just I was watching Blood In Blood Out. Have you seen that movie?
I'm thinking at first I thought Bloodsport,
No.
Blood In, Blood Out. Who does it have?
It has Benjamin Bratt. And it has it's got what the fuck's the guy's name?
Well, I've never
Shit.
seen it, but
Okay.
I've
It's
heard
a
about it. I was thinking like my mind went to Bloodsport though,
it's on Hulu right
which I
now.
have seen. What's that?
Bloodsport's great. It's on Hulu right now if you have Hulu. I fucking love
Okay.
it. It's a 3 hour movie. Um, quick synopsis: it's a half white, half Mexican kid. He's caught in the gang. It's a gang. He's caught in the gang lifestyle. He builds himself up into a prison gang. His cousin becomes like a cop. It's a great. I fucking love the movie, but there's great one-liners in it. And me and Hartsfield, we used to work together in California, and we recite fucking lines that movie all day, like and shit. Like we'll talk shit all the time. So my wife and I were laughing about this the other day. So early today. So um, that's another. So we'll watch movies all the time, and she loves she got me turned on some fucking chick flicks. We don't make sure you okay chick flicks. I'll do the. My mother-in-law does the one finger thing. I make sure I do two of those.
You got to do the two. It's quotation.
Yeah, I love my mother-in-law, but she'll do the one. I'm like, what's the one? How many? What's that? Is that you just quote?
The Shining. Red rum, red rum.
But she'll. So I gotta make sure I do the two quotes. But she'll. Excuse me. Anyway, the
Just fucking laughing our heads off. We got off track. Movies, films, literature. What you got?
Literature wise, I gotta start finishing. I want to start finishing the Sigmund All book because the forward from Chris Carrabba is great.
Chris Carrabba did the forward in the
yes,
Sick
sir.
of It All book?
Yes, sir. And it's like, first of all, you're like, wait a second, is that Chris from fucking Dashboard?
Dashboard Confessional.
That's fucking sick. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And it's like, what? And it's great. And so far, I got into it. It's fucking really. It's a good read. So, the Nancy Burrell book is great to piece through too. So, those are two great books right there. I'm gonna finish those.
We've been trying to get Al on this show, but I don't know. I sent him a request and I didn't hear anything from him. So hopefully one of these days we can talk some SSD. That'll be great,
dude. And well, plus all unfortunately the health stuff he's been going through too. So
yeah, that's true.
I'll be feeling better because I hate it's a part of life. I just hate losing legends. It's part of life though. Deal with it, bud. You say. As I tell my family all the time, handle it. Handle your emotions there, son. But yeah, it's literature wise, that's why I usually like reading books when it comes like things that happen, like music wise and stuff. So, as far as like facts and stuff, my wife loves like history books or things that have happened. She loves books about Ted Bundy and stuff. So, I'm like, that's kind of creepy, babe. You get ideas? You have a highlighter there? So, but those are fun books too. So I have a decent library of punk books because it's what I'm more appealed to. So, it's like having dumb little libraries in my house. But as far as like it's just my life is a little simplistic now. It's just once I started doing the city job, it's just like make your food, go to work, be on time, come home. It is what it is. It's I'm not as active as I used to be. Bando and I, going back to Bando, we would cause a ruckus when we were kids. We would cause a fucking ruckus. Yeah, a ruckus. When I moved down here, I would cause a ruckus in the first few years of me being down here because I realized that the Klan was so fucking huge down here. Whoa, shit!
In Florida?
Oh yeah! Holy shit! Surprise!
Supposedly, there's only 10,000 Klan members in the whole country. Are they all there?
10,000 too many. And here's the thing. So now let's get political here. You have, not you in particular, anybody has the American right. You have the right as an American. You can say what the fuck you want to say. You can feel how the fuck you want to feel. As an American, you can walk outside and say blank, 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 blank. That's fine. But you also have the right to face the consequences from saying the shit. Okay? Yeah. So you will walk out there and say, I don't like this, this, and this, and this. I don't like this person because of this color, this. That's fine. Me, I have the right to say that's cool because I hate your fucking face because of that shit. Because you don't get to walk out here and say this kind of shit and get away with it. Okay?
Right.
Now, do not, let's be honest here, I do not have the right to put my hands on you, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be tempted to. That does not mean I'm not going to want to put my hands on your throat and beat the living piss out of you. Now, I have done these things on many occasions. Does not make me right. Now, let's be honest here. It did not make me right. However, any actions I have done have been provoked at some point. Now, I've had to teach my sons this. There were, this was, she's online somewhere, I'm sure. My wife and I went to the University of Florida, the Richard Spencer rally. And this was probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I took my sons aside and I said, listen, your dad might get arrested tomorrow. In fact, there's a video of me online. I said, your dad might get arrested tomorrow. What happened? I said, well, I explained the situation. I said, if I get into a fight, I'm getting arrested because your dad does not take this bullshit. And here's why. Because I live in the past when it comes to these kind of people, these kind of fucking people who want to march through neighborhoods. Because I feel like Hitler rose to power from a beer hall riot. It can happen here. Okay. This does not mean that a political opponent could have a fucking a political rally at a fucking average bar, and next thing you know, the whole world's gonna fucking jump to arms. Doesn't mean it can happen overnight.
We're getting close, man. We're getting close.
Yes,
and that's the thing. That's the thing, though. I don't want any of it. I don't. You know, but it's going to come to a boil here soon. You know,
we are
a raging boil.
We are a skewed society. We don't really know what the hell we want.
Right.
And I hate doing the both sides argument. It's funny to me, and I watched this. Well, I'll get on this soapbox in a second. So we go to the Spencer rally, and I got in some little Nazi's face. There's been nobody there, but then this little Nazi shows up with little fucking swastikas and shit. I go, oh my god! And I fucking shitting grin like, and I got this guy's mouth. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, you ain't fucking doing shit. I was like, get the fuck out of my country, get the fuck out of here. And I'm doing everything I can to piss this guy off. I'm like, come on, baby, give me a kiss. Anything I can to piss this guy off, because you touch me, it's over. Because I know if I touch him, binded by the law, I can be arrested. You touch me, we're good. And now I can beat the hell out of you. However, somebody hit him before I could touch him. It's like, shit, fuck. Oh well. But again, going back to, you have the right to be here. You do. You have the right to assemble here. You do. I cannot take that right away from you. But I will also let you know that you're not welcome here under what I believe. So that's the problem with liberals nowadays. And this is why little labels like that are offensive to me. You know, these are discussions that Tony and I have a lot of times. If you want to have discussions, or if you want to have like ideologies, if you want to support your country, first of all, let's act like you're an American for a second. If you look at it as an American, there's the first thing you do as an American. These are your rights as a person of your country. Okay.
Right.
These are what you're bonded by as American.
Right.
These are your First Amendment rights. These are all your amendments that you are bonded by. Okay. you do not have the right to do this, this, and this. Once you if you have broken those rights or these values, you are now subject to arrest or these things like that. Again, not to lick boots, but these are the things you have to accept. You know, and unfortunately, people don't want to accept this kind of shit. You know, um, and just accept it. Just fucking accept it. Um, again, realizing as I was as Joe and I were young kids, and we were like, whatever, you want to come to our shows and you want to fucking swazi up and fucking zig heil shit, we're gonna beat the piss out of you. We're gonna get in some fights. I've got scars on my knuckles for years of
I want to
fights.
mention something to you real quick. Do you know who Richard Spencer voted for?
No,
You'll never guess.
was it Joe?
Joe and Hillary. Can you believe that?
Nice.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the
All
fuck?
this,
Really?
all this him hawing, this fucking hail Trump, all this bullshit that he did, and like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that, I know that on the left, I know that a lot of the people on the left are really sensible, like really easygoing type people. I know that on the right as well. It's the extremists that the media focuses on and fixates their attention on so that it can only serve as further division between the both of us. That you've got these pockets of quote unquote dissent on both sides, and you know it, it uh, it's only gonna just get worse. Um, that's you think about it. We have a common enemy. The government. The left hates the government. The right hates the government. It's like brothers, sisters, come together. Let's all hate on the government. Let's all take them
Right.
down.
So as liberal as I am, if we're gonna identify as who we are, I identify
I
as
didn't
liberal.
mean that, by the way, YouTube.
No, yeah, yeah. Before you're canceled, as liberal as I am, there's an old video. This is during the first campaign, and there's Donald Trump, and he says like, we back in those days we used to take these guys out and we used to beat the hell out of them, and they played that one sample, and you're believing that like this what the guys this what he said about this guy,
Right.
and then I saw the whole fucking video. Again, I'm gonna preface this by saying also, I'm not a Trump guy. I've never liked him. Known for not voting for who this guy, or this guy. This is just how I feel about this video. So they showed this video in its entirety. It's a guy behind Donald Trump wearing a shirt that says "The Klan for Trump," and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he freaks out on the fucking asshole, and he says, "Back in my day, we would take this guy outside and beat the shit out of him." So who's at fault now? So did we chop this video up enough to where like we just make it to our narrative? This is not cool. If you wanna people wanna like make this video to where it's good for us. That doesn't. Who wins here? Because you want to be an asshole. Like, let's make it look good for us. Why are we doing this kind of shit? So I, this is why the media does this kind of shit to make shit, make it good for us.
No.
Make it good for our sponsors. Make it good for all the people who are feeding or who are lining our pockets. Are the people paying the bills? Are they going to be happy with this kind of shit? And that's why I don't like that kind of shit. So that's why every time I take a drink, I cover the label.
And even I'm a little bit out of the news cycle as it is. I hear things periodically that go on, but a lot of it is vitriol. A lot of it's just pure hatred. And when you start to understand the dynamics of how everything works, how all these companies are owned by BlackRock and Vanguard and all this stuff, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, Same shit. It's all the same, man. You know?
Well, yeah, it's all the same. Same five people hit the same
Right.
button. You know,
Yes. Yes.
it's
And
like
then
now.
you see the breakdown of like products that are owned by different business conglomerates, to where it's like it's everything. It's everything. You know? And I know you're not a drinker, but then you look down and you see like all this, like all these beers that are all owned by the same company. Like when they
Right.
had the Bud Light boycott or whatever, everybody was talking about how Bud Light lost so much money. They are under the banner of Anheuser-Busch, which I think is under something else. And there were all these different varieties of beer. And I'm like, you're probably not putting that much of a dent in them,
Exactly. You
And it's like, first, if you drink Bud Light, what the fuck is wrong with you? First of all,
know.
like if you're so hell bent on saving that shit ass beer that tastes like fucking water, like
Yeah,
I have no
yeah,
sympathy for you. You're fighting a losing battle. One, because it's pointless, and two, because it sucks.
right. Yeah, it all goes on. It's like it goes next to cancel. If we cancel this whole, like, we're gonna cancel this because we're so mad at something, like we're gonna cancel this book because it said something stupid. Like we live in a state, we live in the state of Florida, where the governor didn't want people to read a book. That's dumb to me. But
Which
on the other
book?
side of the spectrum, there's liberal people that don't want you to read a fucking book. So what if am I allowed to read? You know,
Yeah.
the governor doesn't want you to read a book because you think it's about gay people. Well, yeah, you're an asshole. But again, going back to what I just said, a liberal person doesn't want you to read a book because, it tells you this that you shouldn't read. The cancel culture is so. What
But
the fuck is
being a
cancel
father,
culture?
don't you agree that there is certain information that children should probably not be exposed to at a young age
Being
while
a
their brains are
father,
still in the like developmental phase?
being a father is my responsibility to say, okay, you can't have this book right now. This book says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. That's what you are at age 1 through 5 have to learn. That as a father, that is what you're supposed to be taught right now. Um, as a father, if you are age 60 or whatever, these are you have to learn how to say these words. And yes, yes, please, no, thank you. These things have to be also learned. You know, um, as a father, I try to teach my sons basic manners. Yes, please. No, thank you. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Those things, you know. Um, as far as subjective, what is subjective about a caterpillar? I don't know. If I'm reading about a caterpillar, if it's saying like this caterpillar likes to make out with this male caterpillar, I never saw that. I don't. If the book doesn't look like it's if it looks subjective, I'll probably say, yeah, maybe when they're a little older, we'll think about this. We'll probably go back to this book. You know, but as far as like you know this banned book thing, like it seems that's like book burnings. That's what it sounds like to me.
100%. They don't got to burn the books; they just remove them.
That's cancel culture. It's like let's go back to hardcore. I was around when everybody fucking banned One Life Crew. Really, really, I wasn't there at that festival. I wasn't there. I was down here. I was here for my first few months. Um, the people who put on that festival were in my old band that I mentioned before from Cleveland. And from what I know of that festival, from what I know of what happened at that festival, here's what I know from seeing the events of what happened at that festival. and from knowing the people involved in that festival, Dwid had One Life Crew go on to play some songs. They were playing Madero's Stomp. Some kid climbed on the crowd. Steve was going, come on, come on. The kid goes on the crowd. If what I understand, let's clear the air here, kids. For anybody who sees this, let's understand the words that were being fucking said, that are being interpreted. The kid said the words, from what I understand, you fat racist Jew. Okay? This is what, from my understanding, from Steve's mouth to other people's ears, you fat racist Jew. If that doesn't sound racist to me or anti-Semitic to me,
I know. I keep remarking on that statement. It's like you just kind of canceled out what you were trying to say, bro.
thank you. So next up was Bando, who defended his friend, who stepped in front of Steve and said, let's go. And then he got off the stage and cold cocked that kid. And that's when the fight started. And Steve got off the stage and was like, all right, cool. I mean, if you want to talk shit, if you want this thing to happen, let's make it happen. Because I'm sorry, kids, I know this is not the time and place for it. And I can hear Matt yell going, Joe, stop. And I can hear Shawn Anderson going, Joe, stop. And they're asking Joe to stop, and he's pissed off. You know? And I get it. They don't want this fucking big fight and stuff. And I don't condone the violence, but whatever, man. Like, it happened. Joe, stop. Joe, stop. Steve left the crowd. You know, it wasn't like the whole fucking stage acted out and fucking beat everybody up. They were handling their business. And the next thing you know, Victory Records goes, oh, we're not gonna, you know, we're gonna distance ourselves. Like, oh God, we're afraid of this. Sorry guys. Tony Bubble kiss my ass. He knew exactly what he signed when he signed it. You know? So fuck him. And then again, this is years later, okay? It's just, to call those guys racist is fucking asinine. I've known Steve for years. I've known Tony for years. You know? The Chubby Fresh tapes, listen, I know who hit the record button on those fucking tapes. There's two people in that room, and I know who hit the record button. And I know that when the phone calls were made, the other people on the other side of the phone knew the phone calls were happening, and they were laughing. They're laughing their asses off. So when Carl was being called and when Toby was being called, they knew they were being called. That's all I know. These are the only things I know.
It's not.
And these aren't speculations. These are words I heard from Tony's mouth.
Okay.
You know, these are the only things I know. I wasn't there. These are addressing the rumors. These are addressing the issues. To call these people racist make me sick. I wear my One Life Crew shirt regularly because these are my fucking friends and I know who they are. The shirt is the quote from the Our Fight song. You know? It doesn't say more clear. You know? I don't give a fuck. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of.
And that's the thing. You know, we've had this discussion on the show a few times. You know, I went to a very liberal arts college. I was a liberal for 20 years, you know, and then I, had a shift, and all the super liberal PC kids there had secret copies of that. They're like, it's so good, it's so good. And here's the thing too. Music's so unifying anyway, where it's like, I love some super liberal bands. I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're fucking great musically. I may not agree with the lyrics at this point in time, but you know what? There's passion and there's fire behind it, and that's
Right.
I think what's the most important thing about hardcore is say something, say something significant,
Make a fucking statement.
But at the same time, as we kind of move into 2024, it seems to be important that we kind of remember, look, we're all Americans. We're all in the same, beyond Americans. I mean, if you want to talk about
Right.
Krishna consciousness, we're all in the same fight. We're all in this together. Stop with the bullshit, you know?
Exactly. You know, Steve and I were talking about this recently, about probably a year or so or whatever. Um, it's funny how like everybody's all met. We're all mad at one life crew. Um, where where people met? Was anybody mad at Bad Brains? Because they're blatantly homophobic. Blatantly. I love Bad Brains. Fucking love them. But that band was fucking anti-gay as fucking anybody.
Well, it was, I think, a lot of that had to do with Rastafarianism, you know, and they were a little overzealous. And I think HR has been on record being like, look, we were young, we were
Right.
stupid, you know.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and,
don't
and,
think,
they,
and here, you know, can we agree that like one song shouldn't be like the defining mark for any of these bands? You know, you got
exactly.
minor threat, you know, guilty of being white, Black Flag, white minority, you know, things like that. Public assistance, agnostic front, you know, like it's
And
it's
songs
it's
that all these bands have all said like Public Assistance, they didn't write that song. Pete Steele wrote that song.
oh really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. He wrote that song. But they even told like this. It's that song that doesn't mean anything racist about it. It's the truth. You know, that's what he
Right.
says. That's how they said it. It's the truth. Like these lyrics they highlight the fact that like a lot of times they'll do these things with however they explain it. They didn't these type of people do this thing because this is why they do it. You know, they didn't say this color people or this demographic of people. It doesn't highlight that race of people. Um, you know, I understand that people want to be a crusader. You know, it, everything's a crusade. So, please, great. Don't stop the fight. Don't stop the fight. Don't let the fight end. Because if you let it end, then they'll take over. They'll come back. You
Yeah.
know, um, that's why I'm very adamant about like racist groups not coming back. Because if you don't stop them, or if you keep the fight alive, they'll start coming back to shows, and
Right.
they'll start coming through again. You know, um, but fuck, man, don't pick your fucking battles. Pissing and moaning about band like One Life Crew. Oh, are we gonna talk about the fucking American Justice? That's the funniest fucking record I ever heard in my life. That fucking record's
It's pretty
hilarious.
funny.
Dude,
Yeah.
I laughed when that record came out. I laughed my fucking ass off. Holy shit! And then
It's pretty
again,
funny.
I'm a liberal son of a bitch, and I'm like, kicking all those people in the face. I'm like, "Ugh." Because
Yeah.
and I laugh because I know those guys, but I'm like, this is the fucking funniest shit in the world. I know who in the crosshairs is about. The song I let the mace out of the cage. I know who the song's about, and I laughed my fucking ass off. And I'm like, I bet he's pissed off. That's some mobile kid from Cleveland, and I
So
know
Pat,
exact,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
but I know who that fucking song's about, and I was like rolling my ass off. And I thought the whole record's great. So um,
Mhm.
don't don't give up the fight, but don't fight every fucking thing. You know, don't fucking don't be offended by fucking everything. You
Mhm.
know,
Well,
just
and it seems like everybody wants to be a champion for things where it's like, what, why, you know,
yeah,
like it seems like we've crossed all the major barriers, you know, like what more is to be done?
exactly,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? One thing I wanted to ask you, Pat, like I know you guys have a new live album coming out.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about
Oh,
it.
it's out. We recorded this a couple of years ago in Orlando at Uncle Lou's Entertainment Complex. um, it's a cool little dive bar in Orlando. Um, on DC XPC Records.
Uh-huh.
It's came out around Christmas time finally. It's live in Uncle Lou's, Fortitude, and I'm very happy with it. I'm super stoked. It is available through DC XPC. Um, they do mostly live stuff, um, and we have many copies in as well. That's on gold vinyl, and yeah.
Is it streaming as well?
I believe it is.
Okay.
There are a couple songs on it right now, and you can hear our song "Start Spelling Hate." And what song is on there? Damn, Patrick. Yeah, at least "Start Spelling Hate." Oh, and 6 Million Cries, at least.
Okay.
I know those ones by heart. That are on streaming. So I still run my iPod, so that's why I have an iPod. It's
Got
like
the
having a
iPod
record player.
Classic?
Yeah,
Oh
I have
wow.
10,000 songs in there, and it still works in the car. So like,
It's the shit, man. What the fuck? Like, it was so awesome. I mean, I know you have everything to access now via streaming, but you didn't have, like, you bought the album and it stayed on your shit, and you didn't have to keep paying $15 a fucking month.
that's right. That's damn right. But yeah, I have like all that. So like, what? Say something. What?
But okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. I know we're getting ready to go, but like, as far as uh, you know, downloadable music versus streaming music. A lot of people like to have that tangible, or excuse me, physical media versus streaming. A lot of people like to have that tangible copy. People love that. But at the same time, you can also look at it. I've, trying to look at it from the other perspective of the like streaming media. You can almost look at it like it's an art exhibit, to where it's like, you pay to go into a museum, you look at the art, and then you leave, So that could be a way of, hey, because the Napster thing was a big deal. People weren't, getting royalties off records, even though they usually don't make that much.
Right.
But, you know, the, uh, the advantage to that is that, yeah, you are continually paying since you're not buying anything physical, and then you just get access to everything. I don't think that's terrible.
Right. And I know Spotify pays like a 0.005 cents per stream, or like it's cool. I'm glad they're paying some of these fucking people now. But you had to have like 1,000 plays per song before they start paying them. It's better than SoundScan does. I'm a tangible person. I love having records. Um, Again, going back to my cataloging, so I love that kind of shit. Um, a lot of people are more minimalist. So I'm just I'm glad it's available for people. It's it's more wide ranging for people. Back in the day, you couldn't find our shit, and now you can. So hopefully, our older records will be up there at some point. We're working with some people right now, and you'll get to hear our old shit hopefully soon. And because there's a whole different record without me on it, and it's still good shit. So it's on Bandcamp. I know that much. Um, FORTITUDE FLHC, and yeah, I'm proud of it. I love the band. Been around for almost 30 years now, and it's that's my shit right there. I want to
Oh
shout
yeah,
out
dude.
to the One Life Crew guys. All my Cleveland family. I love you guys. I love Cleveland. Shout out to my wife Julie, and my family, and to everybody. And thank you, Sugar. Man, it's so much fun, dude.
Dude, like, Cleveland's like my second hardcore home at this minute. Never seen a show up there, but all you guys are fucking awesome. Like, I've never received so much love, even in my home state, from like the hardcore scene and stuff. And I mean, you guys are just, you're real motherfuckers. You shoot straight, you're good dudes, and you play awesome music. So I
Chubby
really
Fresh is a
appreciate
son of a
that about
bitch.
Cleveland. What's that?
Chubby Fresh is a son of a bitch.
That's true. That much is certain. We love you, Chubbs.
I love you, Chubby, so
Um,
much, dude.
Yeah, I'll be sure to post all the links down here. And like I said at the top of the hour, hellsheartco.bigcartel.com for official merchandise. Buy something, somebody. Jesus Christ. 20% off your entire order if you use the code 20. And
Anything
that's
with a
on the
Black
Big
Flag
Cartel.
logo, you should get it.
Oh shit! Look at that. Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
He's repping Black Flag. You got to
favorite
do it.
band, dude. Favorite band all my life.
They're pretty amazing, man. I don't know. Wait, somebody did this poll the other day: Black Flag or Bad Brains?
Black Flag, dude.
Really? I
Bad
think
Brains
I'm
are
gonna have
great.
to go Bad Brains.
That's all right. Then take it. Dude.
Even
It's
though
all good.
My War is a fucking awesome album.
And one thing real quick. Last year, and it's probably the second time I saw with Mike singing. Dude, Mike Valley is a fucking amazing singer for Black Flag. I don't give a fuck
Everybody
what
keeps
anybody
saying
fucking
that.
says. I don't give a fuck. He's an amazing singer for Black Flag. He deserves all the credit.
Okay, and you know they've been. I know they did shows here. I think they're doing some recently, like a festival or something like that.
He's doing This Is
And
Hardcore. He's doing the first 4 years this time.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
We saw it last year. He did the My War tour. He did all of My War, and they took like a 20-minute break, and it did like a fucking greatest hits set. And it was fucking sick.
Wow, that's
Fucking,
awesome,
it
man.
was great.
But did you ever see Flag? Did you ever see Flag?
I did not. I tripped on that one. I bet that was an amazing show.
I had to leave to California, and I bought a ticket, and I had to sell it, and I didn't get to see it. I was fucking
That
pissed.
sucks.
In retrospect, I wish I just never went. Just stayed and watched the show. How different my life would be at this point.
I will say this though, one of the best trips in California. Well, the wife and I took 2 trips recently. We saw Black Flag just before shutdown 4 years ago. It was on leap year. It was Black Flag. It was fucking amazing. And last time before that was New Age 30 and St. Hartsfield and New Age Records. So
Nice.
in all their glory. So I love going back to California. So shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And you guys are also playing This Is Hardcore, right?
I wish. Fuck. I would
Oh, I
love
thought you
to.
guys were playing.
No shit. No, we're playing Fest though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that'd be awesome to get you guys on that. That'd be sick. Maybe next year, right?
I would be about it. I would be all about it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, yeah, everybody, like I said, follow my merch company and go and purchase a t-shirt. That would be great. We also got super chats if you want to just give a donation. You don't want any shirts or anything like that. That'd be awesome.
Buy
And
a shirt.
then,
Stop being a wimp.
what's that?
Buy a shirt. Stop being a wimp.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're
because
nice.
threats work
They're
out. Those are
affordable.
nice.
They feel amazing. It feels like fucking heaven, guys. Come on. um, but yeah, buy a shirt. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell for notifications. Any parting words, Mr. Pat Edge?
Hey, as some great men once said a long time ago, be excellent to each other. Don't be fucking schmucks. You know, don't be a racist fucking asshole. The whole world is your fucking friend. You know, everybody loves everybody. Love every fucking buddy. I don't care where they're from. They're not your enemy. Everybody's your fucking
Well, I
friend.
wish I believed that, but
Exactly.
I'm glad you have that philosophy, though.
It's not hard, man. Just fucking hug a person. I was watching, I watched the video thing. Just fucking hug feed a person a fucking pizza. Get a fucking pizza for somebody. Fucking something, man. Just make somebody happy. It's fucking. Hey, if you know somebody out there is on some chemical issues, some chemical dependency, or whatever, fucking hug them and tell them that they can be okay. Fuck, man. I just.
Don't
It's all
try to
right.
give them shit if you know they're struggling.
It's okay out there. Just hug them and say the world's not that the world's a horrible place. The world's fucking horrible, but you don't have to fucking you don't have to be. You can be better than
Right?
I promise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the in Krishna consciousness, the acharya is the one who leads by example, and Srila Prabhupada was that, and I think that's a good good little bit of wisdom there. And yeah, dude, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody, stay tuned. Hang out for a little bit in the back, and we'll chop it up. Do a post game Yeah, everybody, I love you guys. Namaste. Jobless. Be good. Thanks, Pat.
Good.